I stopped digging my garden. The soil got better. That sentence cost me 3 years to earn. 3 springs of turning beds with a fork until my shoulders burned. 3 autumns of breaking up compacted clay that felt like concrete by September. Exposed roots, sliced worms, dozens of them, cut clean in half. Sore back every April. After all that honest, back-breaking work, 3 centimeters of topsoil. 3. I could measure it with my thumb. In the last video, I showed you the $24 I spent on bagged soil. That was the dumbest line on my receipt. But the digging was worse. The soil bags cost me money. The digging cost me the soil itself. Here is what happens when you push a shovel into the ground every spring. You are not just loosening dirt. You are cutting through a network that took months to build. Fungal threads, mycorrhizae, connect plant roots underground like fiber optic cables. 1 cubic centimeter of healthy soil holds roughly 200 meters of these threads. They move water, they transport phosphorus and nitrogen. They connect plants to each other, so a tomato can share resources with a pepper 3 feet away. One pass with a shovel severs all of it. Every spring, you reset the entire underground network to 0, and then wonder why your soil never seems to get better. But the damage goes deeper than fungi. When you flip a layer of earth, you expose it to air and direct sunlight. The top 5 centimeters dry out within 2 to 3 hours on a warm day. The bacteria and microorganisms that live in that layer, the ones responsible for building soil structure, for gluing particles together, for converting organic matter into nutrients plants can use, they die. Or go dormant, which amounts to the same thing for your growing season. You are sterilizing the very thing you are trying to improve. With your own hands. I did this for 3 full years, 3 seasons of annual reset. Every April, I started from scratch like it was a new garden. And every August, my beds looked exactly the same, pale, compacted by July heat, cracking in the sun, weeds pushing through by the 2nd week of June. I spent roughly 12 hours per season digging, 36 hours over 3 years. The result? 3 centimeters. That is 12 hours of labor per centimeter of topsoil. If someone offered you that deal on paper, you would say no. So who came up with this advice? Every gardening book says dig in spring. Every YouTube video shows the fork going in. Every bag of amendment says work into soil thoroughly. Follow the money. Manufacturers of rototillers need you to till. That is literally their only product. Companies selling bagged compost and soil amendments need your ground to stay poor, so you come back every April for refills.
$5 a bag.
The dig every spring rule is not agronomy. It is a business model, an entire industry built on one assumption, that soil needs you to fix it every year. It does not. I stopped in March of last year. Put down the fork. Covered the beds with approximately 8 centimeters of leaf mulch, raked from my own yard in November, piled behind the shed all winter. Cost, 0. Time to spread, about 40 minutes for 6 beds. Then I walked away. No turning, no forking, no amendments, no $8 bags of anything. 6 weeks later, I came back and pushed my finger into the bed. The soil under the mulch was moist, soft, noticeably darker than I remembered. The leaves on top were halfway decomposed. You could still see their shape, but they crumbled at a touch. And the worms. I counted 7 in one single handful of soil. Fat, active, doing their job. They were performing the exact same work I had been doing with a shovel, mixing organic matter into the soil, creating channels for air and water, except better. No torn roots, no destroyed fungal networks, no reset, Just slow, quiet digestion from the top down, exactly the way a forest floor works. 8 months after I stopped digging, I measured the topsoil again. 9 centimeters. 3 times what I had built in 3 years of annual destruction. The soil was darker, almost black in places. It held moisture for about 11 days without any watering, and when I squeezed a handful, it crumbled apart instead of clumping into a ball. That crumble is structure. That structure is what roots need, and I did not create it. I just stopped destroying it. No fertilizer added, no bought compost, no amendments. I removed one action, digging, and the soil recovered on its own. The earthworms, the fungi, the bacteria, they were always there. Every year I had been killing them in April. They spent the summer rebuilding. I killed them again the next April. A loop that only benefits the companies selling you the tools and the refills to compensate for the damage. Soil remembers everything, every cut, every flip, every chemical burn. But it also remembers when you finally leave it alone. Tomorrow, the model I stole this idea from. It has been running for 400 million years without a single update, and it has never needed a shovel.